I want to make this video talking about privilege and something that I think a lot of people bring up. A lot of people use it as kind of an excuse to why certain people have different levels of success. And we all like to just blame it on, oh, this person's more privileged than me, which means a couple different things. It means they have access to more money, more resources, more connections than you do. And as a result, it makes it easier for them to become successful, and it should give you an excuse of why you're not successful because you don't have those things. And it also implies that if you had those things, you would be successful. I'm going to point out the 1,000 things that are wrong with that statement and the reality that a lot of people don't want to accept. So the truth of the matter is there are people who won the sperm lottery, which means they were born into a rich family. But I want to point out the fact that those people are not actually always successful. You would think that with all that money, all that thing, they would be successful. And this is the basis of the privilege argument. The idea is that they have to be successful because they have that money. The truth is there's still people who are drug addicts. There's still people who actually completely erase the family fortune, which you would think is kind of hard if you have a lot of money, but somehow they manage to do it. And this provides much more nuance on the reality of that. Like, just because someone has money doesn't mean that they are going to be guaranteed successful. Just because they have connections doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to be successful. Does it mean that it makes it easier? Yes. But I also want to come back to the crux of the problem, which is that I guarantee you, if you're watching this video, there is something you can personally be grateful for. And rather than working yourself up by looking towards somebody else who you think has it easier than you, realize you're just coping. I don't care whatever situation you're in. Nobody wants to hear your sob story, right? The reality of the matter is you have a job to do. You want to get better. You want to go somewhere that you're not currently at. And if you want to do those two things, talking about how somebody else is way more privileged than you and how they have, more connections and all these things, what does that do for you? It gives you an excuse for why you didn't work hard today. It gives you an excuse for why you're still not successful. It gives you an excuse to slack off. That's really what it does. It's a redirection of attention. You, by focusing so much on somebody else's life who has nothing to do with you, say, because they have XYZ, that means that I will never be successful. And you kind of internalize that. And then whenever people ask you why you're not successful, why haven't you improved, why haven't you done certain things, which are totally in your control that you could actually do, you say it's because I'm not privileged. It's because I don't have those connections. It's because of that. And we have multiple times in the history of mankind and in the current day of people going from actual rock bottom. We're talking about from like zero connections all the way to becoming extremely successful. And I'm saying this just to say that it is possible. I think a lot of people who hyperfixate on privilege, they make it sound like it's absolutely impossible to actually become successful. The truth is, it's possible, but it's harder. But here's the problem. You are living your life. You can't live somebody else's life. As much as you want to just be born into a rich family, you are born into whatever family, whatever part of the world, whatever resource you have, you are dealt the cards you have. And there's nothing you can do to change that except make the commitment to yourself that you're going to work hard, be better, and just constantly try to improve. Understand it's going to suck. You're going to have to work harder than other people. But if you don't do that, the other option is guaranteed failure. And so you have to really just think about this and understand, how bad do you want it, right? You're going to have to go through so much suffering, so much pain, so much just suck, right? But eventually you will make it. And in today's world, with all the technology making a lot of things much easier, it is almost guaranteed that you'll make it. As long as you don't give up and you keep learning and don't make the same mistakes over and over again, you will make it. So why are we spending so much time hyperfixating on the privilege of other people instead of just getting to work, making things and doing things that are actually going to improve us and take us to that next level? If you're watching me, you have access. Let's pretend you have the minimal access possible. Okay, let's pretend you have just an iPhone. Maybe it's an iPhone like 5 or something really just, not good. And you're watching me. Okay, if you're watching me on YouTube, right? And if you're watching me on YouTube, that means you have an account that allows you to see millions of other YouTube videos that can inform you on every single subject known to man, and we'll do it for free. So now you can learn about everything for free from a lot of the most experienced people in that field. You can also listen to podcasts of billionaires, millionaires, exactly of how they did that. You can have all that input, okay? So you can start to put that into your mind of how you're going to actually become successful. Then from there, you can learn a very specific skill, like maybe coding or just, copywriting or whatever. You can learn anything on YouTube. So, okay, we're assuming you're going to do all of that. Okay, you spend your time doing all of that. Now, maybe like you want to read some books. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Buying physical books, it costs money. That's hard. There's so many PDFs out there of some of these books, right? Also other books that are just like free online, and you can completely read those for free. So the point is, like, a lot of people make these excuses, right? Of like, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this. Focus on what you do have, which is actually quite a lot. If you went back 30 years ago to somebody maybe in your same situation, but just erase the technology, and then think about how they could become successful, understand that you have been given such a gift to be able to access the internet, also be able to access AI, be able to access, books and YouTube and all these things and all these resources. They're making it easier and easier for you to get started and actually close the gap yourself. It's like people are always focused on how the wealth gap is increasing, but at the same time it's increasing, it's also allowing you to take a bigger step into the game and actually become a participant. And it's giving you a bigger chance to actually make a difference for yourself and turn your life around. If you spend all this time reading, learning, and improving yourself, I guarantee you will be successful. And the truth is, it's possible. You just have to set your mind to it. And you have to stop allowing external thoughts about other people's situations control your actions, and just put all your energy into improving yourself, into constantly learning whatever you can, into constantly growing as much as possible. You have the resources. You just have to be a little resourceful if you don't have access to certain things. But it doesn't mean it's impossible. It's possible for everybody, and there have been tons of people who have proven that true. Comment down below if you have any questions and subscribe for more.